So I was thinking I'd have to wait until PvZ Replanted releases to do a review, but it turns out if you just buy the game on PC and swap the EXE, you're able to play the game right now. I've played the main adventure of this game and also checked out a bunch of the side content, so today I'm going to give you my honest review on PvZ Replanted. This is going to be split into 3 sections, one based on the adventure, one based on the side content, and finally all the issues that I found with this game. So let's get straight into it. So I think I should start off by mentioning that this isn't an early version of the game, but the release build that we will get when the game comes out officially. There's always a chance we could have a day 1 patch for the game, but it just seems really unlikely considering there's only about 5 days before release. So when you start off the adventure, it looks very similar to the Game of the Year version of the game, but they put loading screens in between everything. As for the intro cutscene itself, it felt a lot more sloppy than the original one. I'll show a comparison between the two on screen now for you. So going on to the level itself, it didn't seem like there was any differences with the gameplay. It doesn't seem like they've messed with any of the balancing at all the zombies seem to come at the same time, which persists throughout the entire game. However, at the end of this level I didn't get 4 pea shooters on the lawn, which is normal whenever I play this level. It gives you just enough sun to get 4 pea shooters. My assumption is that it's because I sped up the game with the little speed up mechanic. The optional skins can be found inside of the settings menu. You can see here there's a bunch of different options. You've got the head crab that replaces the cone head, the retro pea shooter and the retro zombie replace the basic pea shooter and zombie. And you've also got the glasses for some reason too that you don't have to unlock from the Tree of Wisdom. I would assume that all the other things that you get from the Tree of Wisdom would be in this menu as well. So as for the controller support in this game, it works very similar to the version on the Xbox 360, but you can't press RT just to automatically have all the sun go to your crosshair. The game has a level select system similar to what the mobile version uses, but if you go over to the roof levels and find Zomboss, it just straight up shows you the final boss of the game off the bat. Also, as far as I'm aware, you can't even replay original levels once you finish the main story, and you can only redo the story from Adventure Plus. This game also prevents you from using Cheat Engine, which is quite funny because it seems like EA don't really care too much about cheaters. As for Whack-A-Zombie, I never ran into any issue with it, but I've seen that people have had a bug where the zombies just teleport into the house. The co-op part of the game's unlocked in the night levels, but for some reason you're able to access the pool level before you even unlock the pool. So in 2-4 you unlock the Almanac, but for some reason it never lets you actually view it because it puts you straight into a game of Whack-A-Zombie, so you have to wait until level 6 to access the Almanac, which I'm pretty sure the original game didn't do. It makes you kind of forget that you even have it. In the Almanac you can access the archives, they call it, and it's got a bunch of concept art from the original game. Apparently some of this concept art is completely fake, such as this one with a marigold in the middle, with it having a different version number to the less complete version of the game. Also, this Disco Zombie concept art is apparently completely fake as confirmed by the original artist for PvZ1. So moving on to the pool section, you unlock Squash after 3-1. And this is the first character in this game that I think just looks completely terrible. The design is quite sloppy and the eyes are really small. So shortly after you unlock Dave's shop, and for some reason it doesn't play the right music unless you go from the main menu. We will be talking about the music more later because it gets really bad. Now for the pool levels, you can see here I've got Split Pea, and for some reason his eyes are closed on the second head until there's a zombie behind him. 4-10 has a little storm that's going on, and it becomes really obnoxious once you speed up the game. Now for the roof levels, for some reason there's a crack inside the chimney and the zombies don't enter through the top anymore, instead going through the crack instead. Another thing I don't really understand is why is there some houses at the bottom left of the screen? Like, is my character's house just on a massive hill or something? I also noticed this little layering issue with this all-star that was walking past. Clearly Crazy Dave has no respect for people's personal space. I have no clue what's going on with the art for Marigold. The font for Zomboss's note has been changed to a different one to make it easier to read. I think this is a good change, honestly. Flying roof cleaners. Zomboss doesn't have his health bar for some reason. Zomboss does the wrong eye colour depending on what ball he's going to send down the lane. You can see here it turns orange but he fires an ice ball. Yep, this is how the game ends. Instead of a proper cutscene, it's just a video taken from the 360 version put on a render of a TV. This is really disappointing to me. Now for the side content. You can see here if you go over to the Start Adventure section, it tells you about the new game modes that you've unlocked. All the traditional minigames, puzzles and survival levels from the original game return in this. The console and DS exclusive levels such as Heavy Weapon and Air Raid don't return in this game unfortunately, which is quite a shame. But to make up for it, we get 3 new game mode selections in this game. The first one is called Rest in Peace mode, which is basically hardcore mode. You get one lawnmower and if you die you end up losing and you have to go back to the beginning of the game. So what happens if you actually lose this game mode? Like, do you get a little pop-up? No, you get to hear this. You know, I can't believe that zombies can eat your brain without even being in the house now. The next set of levels is just the unused Limbo page levels from the original game, but Ice level is missing from this. I played a few of them and to be honest it wasn't very interesting. I can kind of see why these were scrapped in the original game. The levels are based off the release version of PvZ 1 instead of the earlier versions, so stuff like Can You Dig It don't have little squirrels in it. Sunny Day in particular wasn't very nice to play. The little sun drops that it gives have a really weird hitbox. I think it uses the same one the regular sun uses, so it's really hard to click on it. The only one I'd say was any good is the one where you don't have grass on the top and bottom of the lawn. When you beat one of these levels you don't get a trophy or anything, you just get a bag of coins. The final level is its own little mini campaign. It's called Cloudy Day. The gimmick is that whenever it starts storming you don't get any sun, but plants cost less. This is my favourite game mode out of all the new ones and it's got a lot of unique gimmicks. The only thing that I wish it did is make it so when you use Puff Shroom it actually works during the storm. Plants also recharge faster when it's a storm, so you can use this for a bit of strategy to get down plants for a cheaper price and quicker whenever it starts storming. The final level in this game is called the Great Wall. You can access the level by scrolling to the bottom of the achievements and then you'll get a little pop-up that says Discover China. Pressing the button lets you go into the game. All of the zombies in this level are just recolors of the pre-existing zombies, being Football Zombie, Buckethead, Conehead, Basic Zombie, Pole Vaulting Zombie and Bungee Zombie. You can see here I was able to play this level before I even unlocked the Sunflower. There's no reward for beating this level, you just get coins like all of the other bonus levels they added in this game. In case you're wondering, the music that plays during this level is the same ones that play during the day levels. And the level itself acts like a roof, but you just don't have the slant so the pea shooters can shoot forward. With all the gameplay covered, I think it's time to cover all of the issues that I ran into with this game. Now I've mentioned a few things throughout this video, such as like the teleporting zombies into the house or the squash, but there's quite a lot of other things that I have issue with this game. Now I'm going to get this out the way first, and it is quite clear that they used AI upscaling in certain points of this game, especially for content that went unused in this game, such as the Zombatar. I went in the game files to have a look at the different assets, and I found some signs relating to the Zombatar that would show on the main menu. You can see the sloppy work on the outlines of this design, which makes me think that they used some form of AI upscale for it. What I believe has happened with this game is they AI upscaled all the assets and then they redrew the ones that they needed in HD. Even then there's assets in the game that look like they were AI upscaled, such as this squash preview image. Now I don't want to cover the AI upscaling thing much more since it's already been covered quite a lot on YouTube already. Now I'm going to talk about the speed up button that's in the game. On the surface this is a really good quality of life feature that's taken from PvZ 2 and it makes the game a lot more fast, as you can see by the gameplay. But for some reason they decided to make it so if you speed up the game, it also speeds up the music, which just makes no sense. Why would I want the music speeding up as well? Why is it not an option that I can make it so the music stays at its normal speed? I play you a demonstration, but for some reason whenever I use PvZ 1 OST in my videos I get a copyright claim, so I'm not going to be playing it here. I'm sure you can find videos online of people just playing the game where you can hear the music, but for now I'm not going to play any for you. That's not the end of the issues with the music though, because every single stage in this game has the wrong music for some reason. So how the music works in PvZ 1 is it plays a traditional track, and as you get closer to a huge wave it will make the music more intense. PvZ Replanted doesn't do any of that. How it works in this game is for the day section it will just play the horde part of the song throughout the entire wave instead of progressing and then going down and then back up at the end of the wave. In the night levels it never plays the horde music, instead it just plays the traditional song throughout the entire level. The pool levels do the same thing the day does, where it just plays the horde music throughout the entire level. The fog and roof levels have the exact same problem as well. So with all that mentioned, it pretty much means that PvZ Replanted for one
punishes you with the soundtrack for wanting to play the game faster, and also doesn't even have the correct soundtracks in certain areas of the game, which to me makes no sense because PvZ1's most iconic thing is probably the soundtrack. Now, with PvZ Replanted, one of the main things they advertised is the fact that it could work on a widescreen, or even windowed mode on PC. I personally like to use windowed mode the most whenever I play games, so this was quite a surprise to me. Because throughout this entire video, I haven't been showing you my full screen, and you're gonna see here what I mean by that. Yep, as you can see, I have borders on the side of my screen, and this shows throughout the entire game if I play on windowed mode. If I play on regular full screen or borderless, it works completely fine and fills up my entire screen. I don't understand why playing on windowed mode gives me borders. Honestly, I was really excited for PvZ Replanted when it got announced. I'm someone that really wanted a version of PvZ on the PC that had full HD graphics similar to the Xbox version. But after playing the game, I really feel like this is just a corporate cash grab that they rushed out to get alongside the PvZ free alpha they released recently, with a lot more of the new content being nothing more than recycled content from the original game that was clearly scrapped for a reason, an art archive that has a bunch of stuff that isn't even real, an artwork that might very much just be AI upscaled. I understand that people might say that obviously this is an earlier version of the game and it's going to get improved before it fully releases, but this is the launch version of the game that you'll be able to play when it releases on the 23rd. Now I do hope they do some updates for this game, and if you're watching this in the future and it has been updated, I'll have a pinned comment below if they've fixed any of the problems mentioned in this video. But I think the question needs to be asked, if somebody wants to get into Plants vs Zombies and wants to play the original game, would I suggest PvZ Replanted or the original? And honestly, I would suggest the original game instead, since the original game has the proper music implemented and all of the features this game has to offer minus the new bonus content. But I don't believe the bonus content is enough to warrant buying this game or playing this one of the original, when you lose so much stuff from the original game by playing this one. If you're on console, you're able to play the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of the game, which in my opinion are still the definitive version of PvZ1. The console versions have all of the co-op features that are present inside of PvZ Replanted already in that game, and that came out near enough 15 years ago. So with that said, this is my review on PvZ Replanted. I'm quite disappointed with the game, but I am going to at least hold out for potential updates on this, since they are able to update the game and fix the problems, but knowing PopCap, I don't really have much faith that they'll do that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.